Welcome back, everybody, to IM1. This is 3.12. Pretty much we're doing part 3 now. So Amanda continued moving figures. The diagram at right shows an image of ABCD. Look carefully at the correspondence between the vertices. Can you rotate or reflect the original square to make the letters correspond as shown? If you can reflect, where would the line of reflection be? And if you can rotate, where would the point of rotation be? So where do you guys think I would have to place the line of, so examine the shape first, right? If you notice, we have B, B prime right there. We have A prime over here, D, D prime, and then C, C prime. So we can do either or. So what do you guys think would be for me to have pretty much the same image? Where would the line of reflection be? So in this case, it would be like right in the middle, right? And again, because all the points have to be the same distance from the line of reflection, right there. All right, if I were to rotate triangle ABC, right, so the next part of the question, where would you guys put the point of rotation? And remember, the letters have to match. They have to end up in the same spot as the other one. What I personally think is that if you put the point of rotation right in the center of the square and then you rotate it, I would say just quarter of a turn this way would be 90 degrees. So that would give you pretty much the same shape, right? Once you put it on that. All right. So for the first one, so the line of reflection would be in the middle of both shapes. And then pretty much the center of rotation, the point of rotation would be in the center of the square. All right. And then looking at part B, this time Amanda rotated square ABCD by 180 degrees, about the point as shown. Uh, so label the vertices of the image, square on the right, and then if you have trouble, try using tracing paper. So in this case, if you have tracing paper, you can use like wax paper or parchment paper. So pretty much remember, so we're rotating it this way. So where do you think this point would be at, right? So it takes a complete 180-degree turn. So it should end up over here. So this would be B prime. And then this point again, rotate 180 degrees would be A prime. This would be D prime. And then this would be C prime. All right, question 317. Reflections, rotations, and translations of figures are called rigid transformations. Rigid transformations of polygons do not change any of the measurements of the angles nor any of the side lengths in the image. The word transformation and translation sound alike and can easily be confused. Discuss this with your team or pretty much think about it, right? What is, again, transformation refers to the three different transformations that we have, the rigid ones, right? To changing the position of an object in space using rotation, reflection, or translation. And the word translation refers to pretty much when we just slide an object, right? So slide an object across space, across a plane. All right. Now let's look at question B. Examine ABC and A prime, B prime, C prime in the graph to the right. So with your team, describe at least two different ways to transform ABC onto the image A prime, B prime, C prime. So one of the things that you guys notice here, we have C, C prime, B, B prime over here, A and A prime. So one of the things that I think we could do is pretty much rotate this shape, right? Rotate this triangle in this direction, so that way we end up with the new image. So we can say rotate. Rotation would be one of them. All right. And then another one, if you guys notice, I would say that if we first reflect, right, we can reflect the image on this side like this, and then we can also translate it down. So in this case, we can do a double transformation. So rotation, and the second would be reflection and translation. All right. Are there multiple ways to describe any transformation? Discuss this question again, and then what do you guys think? Are there always multiple ways to describe any transformation? I would say yes, because if you guys have noticed, right? I would say yes, because if you notice, right now we just came up with two different ways to describe a transformation. So yes, there are different ways to describe a transformation. And then for example, at the beginning of the lesson, we started with reflecting an object twice, right? We had a triangle, and then we had another triangle, and then we reflected that triangle again, and then it pretty much just looked like we just slid this one across, right? So double reflection could end up being a translation, right? And then also we did another one where we reflected across two different lines, right? It was the same shape or something similar. So we reflected, and then when we reflected one more time, this ended up being down here, right? So this, again, this is a different ways that we can do those.